It is tinder dry on Vancouver Island, and that has fire officials concerned the number of fires could grow even more over the weekend. If you live in Nanaimo, you can probably see smoke right now. More than a dozen firefighters are on the scene of a fire that is burning dangerously close to a number of homes. Fire officials say a discarded cigarette may be to blame for a wildfire that is still burning near Lakeview Park on the east side of Long Lake in Nanaimo. The blaze is one of 3 fires burning on the island right now. Officials say the dry conditions have also led to a number of smaller brush fires. With the fire risk at high and expected to climb to extreme, the Coastal Fire Center is considering an all-out ban on campfires on the island. And as A-News reporter Stephen Andrews shows us, in this weather, moves such as throwing a lit cigarette from a car window or a campfire burning out of control can destroy entire neighborhoods within minutes.
And if I can get it to light.
Langford Fire Rescue show how dangerous dry conditions can be at this time of year. Within seconds, grass and moss normally found at the side of the road or in rural areas spreads, well, like wildfire.
So you can see how quickly that spread. We have just a light breeze back here today, and you can see how quickly that fire spread, and that has burned right down almost to the mossy area now.
That's exactly what happened last week near the Trans-Canada Highway. Fire crews spent several hours extinguishing a brush fire. Investigators believe children set the blaze while trying to set a wasp's nest on fire. Fire Inspector Lance Caven returned to the scene today to show how fragile brush areas can be during hot weather.
Spread, you know, it's probably 50 by 60. So it didn't take long for it to really take off in these dry conditions. What happens here is the fire gets going in the grass and it starts to climb these trees, and then that's when it can start to spread from tree to tree.
And to show you how serious this fire could have been, all you have to do is take a few steps away and you discover even more fuel. Tons of trees scorched by the sun, backing onto a housing development. It's a perfect example of what can be a small brush fire one moment can be a threat to homes the next.
So what people need to do is look at lifting their branches up higher up on their trees so that the fire can't get to those ladder fuels and carry on up in the tops of the trees.
If this was in like if this was a larger tree in a backyard,
right,
you would suggest trimming all these lower branches.
That's right. Yeah.
Taking them all off because.
Yeah, and then among other things too, you want to take care of the grass on the ground and keep it cut down. You can see how long the grass and the broom is here. Yeah. Okay, it gives it an opportunity to get up into those branches.
And there will be more opportunities this weekend. The fire risk is listed as high throughout Vancouver Island, and fire officials expect the number of fires to grow.
We would ask the public to be extremely cautious out there this weekend. There's no campfire prohibition in place at this time for the Coastal Fire Center zone, but we're evaluating that every day, and you very may well likely see something like that towards the end of next week.
Back at the Langford Fire Department, though it's been several minutes since the fire experiment began, it continues to burn.
There on the bottom, and you can see that it gets down deep into that moss, and that moss is super dry, and that's where we really need to use lots of water and lots of mop up to get down and make sure that those hot spots get put out so they don't flare up later on later on in the night.
It's the end of an experiment that shows how dangerous dry conditions can be, and one that caught even the experts off guard.
I was a little surprised at the speed that it went. I knew that it was dry fuel, but I didn't expect it to consume it that quickly.
In Langford, Stephen Andrew, A-News.